Have you ever wondered why some people cheat? Whether at work, in relationships, or even in sports competitions, the figure of the cheater is universal. Today, we are going to explore the mind of the cheater, understand what motivates someone to betray the trust of others, and what great philosophers and psychologists have to say about this issue. We will also look at contemporary examples and reflect on how cheating manifests in our society. In the Republic, Plato raises the question of justice and morality. He tells the famous story of the Ring of Gyges, a magical ring that makes its wearer invisible and capable of committing any crime without being seen. Plato questions, if no one knew what we were doing, would we all act justly? The story suggests that the power to escape consequences can lead even the most just person to cheat. Fast forwarding to the Renaissance, Machiavelli offered a pragmatic view in The Prince. For him, the end justifies the means, and cheating can be used to maintain power. Machiavelli challenges traditional morality, suggesting that in certain contexts, cheating is an effective tool for survival and success, defying Plato's vision of justice. Political scandals like Watergate, where U.S. President Richard Nixon was embroiled in a web of espionage and manipulation, show how powerful figures may resort to cheating to maintain control. For Sigmund Freud, human behavior is often driven by unconscious impulses. The ID, representing our most primitive desires, is a force that seeks immediate gratification without regard for moral consequences. When a person cheats, they may be giving in to these ID-driven impulses, ignoring social norms and the consequences for others. Freud also makes us consider the role of the superego, which represents internalized morality and ethics. When the superego is weak or underdeveloped, the individual may have less resistance to the temptation to cheat. Cheating, then, can be seen as a failure in the balance between the ID and the superego. In the world of sports, the use of doping by elite athletes like Lance Armstrong, who won and then lost his Tour de France titles, exemplifies how the pursuit of power and success can lead to cheating. Jean-Paul Sartre, one of the leading existentialist philosophers, addressed the issue of cheating through the lens of freedom and responsibility. For Sartre, cheating is a conscious choice, an expression of individual freedom. However, he believed that by choosing this path, the cheater is evading their own moral responsibility. This behavior is what Sartre called bad faith, a state where the individual denies their freedom of choice by seeking excuses or blaming external factors for their actions. According to Sartre, we all have total freedom to make decisions, but we must also bear the consequences of our choices. When someone cheats, they are trying to avoid the weight of responsibility that comes with freedom. Cheating, in this sense, represents an escape from authenticity, as the individual prefers to deceive themselves and others rather than face difficulties honestly. In contemporary society, we see examples of this in crises like the 2008 financial bubble. Many of the fraudulent practices involved executives who chose to take unethical shortcuts, playing with the trust of the financial system and ordinary citizens. For Sartre, these acts reflect the attempt to escape responsibility rather than face challenges with integrity. Carl Jung, one of the most influential psychologists of the 20th century, introduced the idea that the cheater is an archetypal figure present in humanity's collective unconscious. According to Jung, the trickster archetype appears in mythologies and cultures worldwide as a figure that challenges rules and established order. However, the trickster is not purely negative. They are ambiguous, and their behavior often serves to expose hypocrisy, provoke change, or question existing norms. Jung believed that we all carry this archetype to some degree. In moments of frustration, disadvantage, or repression, the trickster can manifest, challenging the status quo and seeking shortcuts to success. While this archetype has transformative potential, it can also be destructive when used selfishly or irresponsibly. In modern society, this archetype can be seen in figures like Jordan Belfort, the Wolf of Wall Street, who manipulated the financial system to become wealthy. Belfort exemplifies the modern trickster, using his cunning and persuasion to subvert rules and exploit loopholes in the system. For Jung, the figure of the cheater remains relevant, reflecting the tension between following norms and challenging the established order in pursuit of personal or collective gain. Erich Fromm, a renowned psychoanalyst and sociologist, offered a profound perspective on cheating by analyzing it within the social and economic context. Fromm argued that we live in a society that intensely values individual success and competition, often above ethics and cooperation. In his book Escape from Freedom, he suggests that cheating is not just an individual moral failure, but also a reflection of the social pressures imposed by a system that rewards results at any cost. For Fromm, cheating can be a response to the sense of alienation and hopelessness many face in a society that values financial success and power above collective well-being. When a person's value is measured only by what they achieve materially, cheating may become an attractive or even justifiable strategy for many. A contemporary example of this dynamic is the rise of large corporations using unethical practices, such as the Cambridge Analytica scandal, where personal data was manipulated to influence elections. For Fromm, this form of institutionalized cheating reflects a society that has lost its sense of humanity and cooperation, replacing ethical values with an insatiable pursuit of control and profit. Cheating, in this case, becomes a tool to survive and thrive in a system already corrupted at its core. Daniel Kahneman, a Nobel Prize-winning psychologist, brought a new perspective to cheating through behavioral economics. He argued that human behavior often follows cognitive shortcuts, called biases. These biases can lead people to make irrational decisions, including cheating, even when they know such actions are unethical. Kahneman highlights that our brain prefers quick and easy solutions, which can result in opportunistic behavior like cheating when the rewards seem to outweigh the risks. An important point is that for Kahneman, the human mind is skilled at morally justifying these behaviors. People find ways to convince themselves that cheating is acceptable under certain circumstances, diluting their individual responsibility. This self-justification is more common when responsibility is shared or diffused, such as in a corporate environment. In the contemporary world, small acts of cheating, such as academic plagiarism or tax fraud, exemplify this phenomenon. People often underestimate the negative consequences or believe that their small transgressions are justifiable because everyone does it. Kahneman shows us how the human mind, through cognitive shortcuts and moral justifications, can turn cheating into a common practice, even in individuals who consider themselves ethical. The psychology of the cheater is a complex journey involving conscious choices, unconscious impulses, and the influence of social contexts. From the philosophical reflections of Plato and Sartre on morality and freedom to the psychological discoveries of Freud, Jung, and Kahneman, we see that cheating is more than just an act of dishonesty. It's a manifestation of how we deal with pressure, the desire for success, and the need for belonging. While some philosophers, like Machiavelli, view cheating as a pragmatic tool for survival and success, others, like Sartre, believe it represents an escape from responsibility and authenticity. Psychologists such as Fromm and Kahneman show that cheating can be both a response to a system that promotes relentless competition and an unconscious shortcut the mind uses to justify unethical behavior. In contemporary society, from corporate scandals to everyday acts, cheating reflects not only individual failures, but also the dynamics of a world that often rewards success at any cost. By understanding these motivations, we can not only comprehend the behavior of the cheater, but also reflect on the norms and pressures that encourage such acts in our society.